Welcome to Get Lost with Sean and Jen. Today we're going over some. What are they?
Hints, tips, kind of how we went about downsizing from a 4-bedroom house, 2 stories, to a 35-foot motorhome.
All right. Well, go ahead and start.
So the big thing is to kind of understand that it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be. I don't know. It's just a matter of kind of putting things in piles. This is what I wear every day. This is what I wear maybe a few times a year. I can get rid of this stuff. I can donate this stuff. We can make a garage sale. That sort of thing. So kind of create your own deadlines. If you know the Salvation Army, for instance, is going to come and pick something up, have everything ready by then. Set deadlines for yourself to get everything out in the garage or out in the front yard for a garage sale. I don't know, just...
You don't realize how much stuff you have until you start to go getting rid of it.
Yeah.
You accumulate quite a lot of stuff, especially for us. We had 4 bedrooms that we weren't really using, and we were just filling them all with stuff. So it took a while to get rid of.
So the next thing that was really big is to do your research. Number one, before you even look at a budget, before you do anything, is if you're having a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, see what your truck can tow, or if you're going to buy a truck, what that truck can tow.
It's better to buy the trailer or fifth wheel that you want and then buy a truck that can tow it instead of being stuck to one certain weight class. But at the same time, you don't need to go out and buy the biggest fifth wheel or biggest travel trailer that you can get, because not only is it more expensive, but you might not need all that stuff that it has.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, once you figure out what you need to have with you all the time, you can kind of gauge what you want. And then kind of create your budget from that. Do you want a travel trailer? Do you want a fifth wheel? Do you want a motorhome? Do you want a Class C? Do you want a Class B? Do you want a Class A?
You forgot a Super C.
And everything in between.
Toy haulers.
I mean, you gotta find what fits you, find what kind of layout fits your needs. Is it long enough for you?
Can you actually live in it full time? Is it enclosed underbelly? Heated enclosed underbelly. If you're going to be in cold weather, that's a big deal.
And if you're going to be in hot weather, does it have the capacity to cool down as much? We have a pug. I don't know if you can hear him snoring in the background, but he's kind of heat sensitive, so he'll need some ventilation every once in a while. And also storage is a really big deal. We're lucky enough to get a Class A that has a ton of storage compared to the travel trailer that we were going to get. So, I mean, really think, because that's going to help determine how much stuff you need to get rid of or put in storage or sell or donate. So, I mean, this is all research. So you got to do it. It might not be fun at times, but you got to do it. And also look into gas mileage and gas prices.
Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy. But set your budget, stick to it. Make sure that would include all of your taxes, your fees, your registration, all the DMV stuff.
If you get a travel trailer from a dealer, we had talked to one of the salesmen, and he said if we got a travel trailer that cost $27,000, he could add on about $3,000 in fees. And, dealer prep fees and taxes and stuff like that. So keep that in mind.
And also kind of going off of that, the insurance of it. We looked it up for 6 months. For us, roughly, it would be $250, I believe, for 6 months.
For the motorhome.
For just a motorhome. And, kind of include that into your budget. Know that you're not going to be without a monthly payment of some sort, living smaller. I don't know, YouTube is also a really great resource. There are a lot of really awesome full-time RVers out there, and it's just invaluable, some of the stuff that they talk about, and kind of show you how life is.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Answer why a lot.
Yeah, everybody's going to want to know why. Why are you going from a house to, living in a motorhome or travel trailer or whatever? Some people just don't understand it.
Well, not just that. Why not an apartment? Why not a condo? Why not go into a, student housing, since I'm going to be going to grad school? For us, it kind of fit our needs. We both want to travel. We both want to see things. We both kind of don't want to be stuck. Especially going down to Charleston, we have all the flooding and hurricanes we got to worry about. So, it's just kind of a catch-all, everything we want to do, and we're lucky enough to be able to pursue what we want to do with our life. So kind of be ready to answer why. So not only to other people, but to yourself. Why am I doing this? Well, because, this is going to be the end result. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We're closing on our house in 2 days, and that's crazy, and it's awesome, but, it was definitely a long road getting here.
Yeah, we were planning for quite a while before any of this really happened. So.
Yeah. Let's see. List your house as soon as you decide to sell it. It's a heck of a lot less stressful. It gives you another deadline. It gives you a timeline. You need to have the house clean for showings or viewings. You need to have the house clean for when the realtor comes. You need to have the house clean for the home inspector,
and the appraiser, and all that stuff.
And the walkthroughs that the people want to do. So it's kind of, okay, well, they might want to see the house even less empty and less empty and less empty.
More empty.
Well, whatever. It's 10:08 at night, whatever. But, the more space that you can show, I feel, the more attractive it can be to buyers.
It also gives you an opportunity to get rid of more stuff. When you're cleaning things up, you realize, you have something that you haven't used in however long, so.
And also find the right realtor that works for you. Find a realtor that knows your area, that kind of knows what homes are going for in your area, and that he's not going to take a ginormous percentage. We were lucky enough to find a realtor that was able to give us a pretty decent deal through the company that he works for. Kind of do your research on that again. It's a lot of research, but it pays off in the end.
So, what's next?
So we have a list in front of us. That's why we keep looking down.
But I can't read any of it. So.
Practice living in a smaller space. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
It's a real biggie.
Yeah, we went from living upstairs in our house to living downstairs in the smaller bedroom.
Well, not just upstairs, obviously. Upstairs and downstairs. And then we cleared out the entire upstairs and moved into the downstairs bedroom that has an attached bath, so we didn't have to keep going upstairs. We have dual zoned heating, whatever it's called. And so we were able to set the temperature upstairs to like 64. And down here it's set at 71 just because we got back from Hilton Head and it's in the 40s outside and we're freezing. So just practice. We got the first floor and a bedroom and a living room and a kitchen.
Yeah. That's one of the things we realized when we were first doing all this research is 90% of the time we're not using the whole house. We're only using one room of it. So, we obviously don't need that much space to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't handle living in a smaller space, you're definitely not going to be able to handle living in an RV or a travel trailer. So.
And a great way to think about it is to kind of think that you want every space that you're living in to be an effective space that you're using or are going to use that day. If you're not going to use the space that day, then it's kind of a wasted space. If you just want to buy something and then not use it, why do you need it? I mean, I can get it kind of, but I mean, that just doesn't work in a travel trailer or in this situation for us. So, I mean, it really makes you think about what you're going to buy, what you're going to use, how often you're going to use it. Kind of just, it makes you really think.
Yeah. Next.
Have an agreement if it's more than just yourself living in this space. So, we both kind of said to ourselves and to each other, if one of us doesn't really feel the whole RV living full-time thing, then you know what? The other person has to respect that and get an apartment, find someplace else, kind of make do with what we can.
Yeah.
Have an interim plan. So find something that's easy to transition. So, like I said, we're closing in 2 days, but we're actually planning on being out of the house by tomorrow night. And our motorhome's not on the road. And it still has to get registered. It still has to be put in our names. It still has to be inspected, and it needs propane, and we need to make sure the fridge works, and a whole slew of things. So, what are we going to do with ourselves for that time? We have a cat, we have a dog, we have 2 ferrets, ourselves, all of our stuff. Don't leave yourself living out of a car, I guess. Make sure you have some sort of a plan as to where you're going to be.
Yeah,
have a bathroom, have a kitchen.
If your plan is to sell the house and move into an RV, just keep in mind that the day that your house sells is not the day that you're going to be getting the money. And even if it was, you might not. When you go to an RV dealership, you're probably not going to be getting the RV that's there on the floor. They order it from somewhere else, 90% of the time. So you might be stuck waiting for it.
Yeah. I mean, some dealers will have it to you ready to go in 36 hours. We went to a dealer where it would take up to a month for an RV to come in. So if your finances allow, kind of get the motorhome before you move out, so you can kind of put everything in as you're cleaning out, so to speak. But if that doesn't work, you got to kind of make do with what you can do.
Yeah. With us, we know the person that we're getting the RV from, so we've been able to go there and clean it up a little bit and put stuff in there. But I don't really want to be staying in an RV in its front yard, so we're just going to kind of wait until we have it in our possession before we actually, move in. But yeah, it has been helpful.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the next thing is to expect everything to go wrong, but hope for the best.
Yeah. Somebody said that they're basically, a house, and you're driving it down the road, so it's pretty much going through an earthquake. And houses weren't meant to go through an earthquake. So, stuff's going to break. Something, it's not always going to be perfect 100% of the time. So just remember that and plan for things to break. And don't get angry and don't get frustrated. There's 90% of the time when you're talking to RVers and stuff like that, they say there's usually always something broke. So plan for that and expect it. If you are getting it from a dealer, definitely make sure you get some sort of warranty or an extended service plan or something like that, just so that you have that as a peace of mind. Which also brings us to, like, if you can get into an RVer club like Escapees or Good Sam or something like that, some of them offer roadside assistance and also discounts at campgrounds. So you never know when you might need something like that. It's always good to have. I don't know.
Don't just expect the worst and hope for the best for your RV. Do the same for your house that you're selling.
Yeah.
We're selling our house as is, and we've put over $4,000 worth of work into it. Easily. We had to replace the electrical. We had to paint the window trim. We had to paint the outside porch. We had to put a sump pump cover on. We had to, what else?
Oh,
The GFI outlets by the
Yeah.
sinks. Thanks, Rob. And the gas leaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What else?
we
We had to
know,
replace flooring. Had to put in a bathroom floor.
you had to fix the shower,
Yeah, I had to fix the shower.
the ceiling tiles upstairs.
Yeah, I had to replace the ceiling. Also had to replace some carpeting.
And we're selling it as is.
Yeah.
So figure that out.
Apparently, when it comes to houses, as is isn't really as is.
It's not like buying a car as is.
Yeah.
I don't know, just expect the worst and hope for the best, really.
All right. Well, what's next?
That's it. You did the whole escapees thing with that thing.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? All right. Well, then, I don't know. I hope this was helpful. This is just for us, but hopefully you can take some of it and learn from some of it, or look into it, or keep it in mind when you're looking for your stuff. So.
And it's also fun for us to probably look back on this video probably a few years from now and be like, oh, so that was in the living room and Sean's sitting in the draftiest spot in the whole house because the window over there, doesn't have a good seal on it, and X, Y, and Z. But, I don't know, just plan, know that it's a process, do what you gotta do, set boundaries and deadlines, and, just
It's not as
go
hard
with
as
the
you.
flow.
It's not as hard as you might think it is.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you later. These are my kitty. She loves me.
Send class.